Dead snow film begins, and we see a girl in the snowy area. The name of the country is Norway. She ran away, and it seems as if she was saving her life, because she was being chased by zombies. She was unable to save her own life, despite her best efforts, because zombies catch her and kill her. After that, we see 7 people in the car who were friends. Where were they going? They were actually going to celebrate their Easter festival. The place they were going to is named Oaks. The place where they were going was behind the mountains, where Vegard had a friend and she had a cabin. They had to stay over there. The route they were following was the same opposite of the route Girl was following. When they arrive in Oxford, they park their car, because the car is unable to move any further, because that was a snowy and mountainous area. After that, we see Vegard riding his snow bike and remaining all follow him. They eventually arrive at the cabin where they were going. They have a great time in the snow. After that, we see the appearance of night. Liv was going home, but she sees someone is already there. She scares much and runs to the cabin, and tells all friends that she has seen something there. They all stand up and go to check someone's presence. As they approach there, they don't see anything over there. At that instant, a man appears over there, and he asks for coffee from them. After asking for coffee, he does a strange thing, and that was that instead of coffee, he picks up their bear and drinks it. He was behaving as if it was his own house, and like the people know him for long. After this, he starts telling about the dark past of that place. He tells that when Second World War happened, the location was then taken over by Nazis. Colonel Herzog was in charge of that location. Those Nazis people made the life of inhabitants very difficult. But after that, they started to feel their defeat, and when they felt that they would lose, they left the place. They put up very difficult conditions for the people lived there. Those people were much anxious at them, and they killed them. And their soldiers also ran away from there, after which their captain also ran away from there. But there was too much cold that he died there. He says, "I'm sure that even today those evil powers exist there, and I want that they must not wake up ever." At that time, Roy, present in them, starts laughing at him and starts making fun of him. He claims that because we are medical students, we do not believe in such things. He also says that we don't know why those evils and their powers vanished. After listening to him, that person becomes very hungry, and he holds him in anger and says when your intestine would be pulled out, would you treat that? He warns them and goes out from there and puts his tent nearby and puts his tent nearby. He was angry and takes a meal. After some time, wired voices listened, but he was not aware that whose voices were they. He goes out to inquire about the voices. He sees zombies standing nearby. He was thinking to save his life from zombies that suddenly another zombie approaches him and cuts his throat. He still somehow manages to escape towards his tent. Zombie also follows him and kills him. Vegard had a great impact of his story, and he was worried about her friend Sarah. He decides that he will go to find Sarah. He tells his friend that he is going, and if I don't return, they can go to our cars and seek help from there. After that, Vegard moves from there, as he leaves the remaining start enjoying themselves again, because nobody was taking that person seriously. On the other side, Vegard was searching for Sarah, and while finding her, he approaches to the same person's tent. He stops there and sees that man dead. He was killed by a stab. In addition, he discovers bloody foot impressions. He has no clue where they were heading, but he follows one's imprints. His foot has become entwined in the pit, and he starts falling. On the other hand, everyone was prevalent in the house, and they uncovered and started opening a box. They are astonished once they open the envelope. What did that box comprise? That was made of bronze. From where that gold came there? Their mind finally strikes about Nazis. They believe that it was the same gold Nazis were stealing. But Martin says, "No, you all are thinking wrong." Then Erlend enters the home and Chris also follows him. After that, Erlend comes back, but Chris doesn't. Where has she gone? Because she was still in the outhouse. She was there because she assumes that Erlend might be joking with her, because she feels as if someone was seeing her from outside. She was thinking that suddenly a zombie attacks her. She cries a lot and runs towards her cabin. And those present in the cabin were listening to loud music. That's why they couldn't hear of Chris. But Hina listens to her. She turns the music up and watches out for the voice she heard. Then a zombie catches Chris, and he takes him along with himself. Hina keeps looking out, but she couldn't find anything. She thinks that there must be something wrong. She says that I'm not feeling right. Her 3 closest friends were present. She takes them out in order to find Chris. They all find Chris but couldn't find her. They don't find Chris, but a bag was present there, which belonged to Sarah, whose cabin it was. Now they fell in doubt about that place, and they don't consider that place to be good. Hina was constantly looking outside. As she was looking out, suddenly Chris comes across and she gets satisfied. After watching Chris for a while, she finds out that it was only Chris's head. She yells out loudly. Liv rushes over to Hina to inquire about her shouting. She also looks outside, but she can't see anything. As Liv looks outside, a zombie grips her hair. She cries a lot. Everyone tries to help her, and they free her up with very difficulty and shut the door off. Zombies were so much powerful and great in numbers that they were trying to come in from all sides. Hina then slashes the hand of a zombies. They've realized they were Nazi zombies all along. Erland fears a lot, and he asks everyone to take care of themselves so that no zombie could harm them. He was trying to tell them a trick of some movie using which they could save themselves. At the same time, a zombie comes and holds his head and breaks it into 2. On the other hand, we see Vegard, who fell down, now come to his senses. He realizes that he is trapped in a cave. He picks up wood and fires it up so as to light up. Then he comes inside to see what actually that was. He realizes that it was a secret path. There were so many things present over there, like he finds weapons over there, which belonged to the Germans. He also finds helmets with them. As he was watching the helmets, he finds Sarah's head over there. Sarah died. After watching all this, he comes out of that tunnel. As he comes out, a zombie catches him up, but he fights with that zombie and tries to save his life. But at the same time, another zombie shows up coming out of ground. On the other hand, the rest of the people present in the cabin were making a plan. They say that 2 people will engage zombie in talks so as to divert their attention, and rest of the 2 would take help from the car. After that, we see Martin and Roy, who try to engage zombies, so they might not pay attention to them. On the other hand, Hina and Liv run towards the car for help. They both forget the path. After being trapped in such a big situation, suddenly a zombie appears. Vegard, who was fighting with zombies, kills both the zombies. Suddenly, a zombie catches him, and they both fell down. Zombie was dangling from a rope. Vegard descends while holding the rope. Zombie and Vegard both were tied to the rope, and Zombie attacks his neck, but he still manages to save his life and throw Zombie down. Then he pulls the rope upward to save himself. On the other hand, Hina and Liv, who were out for help, were also fighting the zombie, but Liv couldn't fight with themselves. Zombies catch her and kill them after thrashing into pieces. She takes out an electric stick and kills all the zombies. Herzog reaches out after watching the zombies. Hina was standing at the top seeking for help. When she is unable to understand, she thrashes into ice. Ice breaks and a zombie following her fall down with her. She was saved but unconscious. And Vegard, whose neck was injured, tries to stitch his neck by himself. He takes out his weapon and puts it on his snowbike and goes out to kill those zombies. And Martin and Roy were there to divert zombies' mind so that they could kill them by dodging. Roy tries to throw a blast outside, but it gets blast in their own cabin, and the cabin gets fire. They both escape so as to save themselves. After that, they go to a shed and find a lot of weapons there. They plan to pick those weapons so that they could fight with zombies. As they come out, they see zombies' army there. Using those weapons, they kill zombies one after another. As the zombie die, many other appear. A lot of zombies come in front of them, and Vegard approaches there. He fires from his machine gun and kills all the zombies. After that, many zombies appear, but Vegard kills them too. After that, very bad thing happens to him. Many zombies attack him and break his legs and arms. Both of his friends were witnessing this. Martin gets angry and he starts hitting those zombies badly. When he was hitting zombies, suddenly Hina approaches there. She was standing at Vegard's back. He thinks her of as zombies and attacks her as well. and hits his throat with a saw. While Martin was killing them, one zombie attacks his hand and hits him. When the zombie was thrashing him, he remembers that person they met and cuts his hand. After cutting his hand, he looks much happy. He was happy that he would not become zombie-like. A zombie appears from inside the ice and hits him. He still tries to save his life. He shouts very loudly and starts hitting Zombie with his leg. He kills every zombie that only Herzog is left. They think that they would kill Herzog and run after that. But Herzog opens up his mouth and starts saying something. Even the earth began to shatter and continued to shatter as he spoke. That one by one, those dead zombies become alive and form an army again. They think as if they were in a critical position, so they try to run away. Herzog was carrying a hammer. They run away, but Roy's feet are becoming tangled up in the shrubbery. When Herzog nears him, his friend hits a mallet on Herzog's head. A component enters his body when he's trying to hit a zombie, and all of his parotid gland run away. He comes back to Roy and takes out a watch from his pocket and starts thinking, what was hitting his mind? He starts running towards that cabin. He sees the cabin was under huge fire. He enters the cabin and picks the box containing gold, after which he passes that box to Captain Zombie, who gets very calm. Martin then proceeds to save his life from there and walks up to his car. As he reaches there, he sits in the car. He starts the car and the coin Hina gave him falls to the ground, and Herzog appears in front of him, who is shouting badly and tries to break his window. And after that, movie ends.